Hi. You have no idea how scary you are. I'm not a person who ever gets scared. But I have sat in this chair, other than the one I did when I was so jazzed about the crazy stuff that was going on after the trade deadline. Panic, panic, fad, fad. I don't think it's going to work out, but we'll see. But when I sat down today, I thought I knew what I wanted to say to you, and oh man, we start, and I just keep getting shaky. So let's not worry about how shaky I am. Let's worry about what I'm doing here. And getting shaky is sort of counterintuitive to me right now, because at 61 years old, after a lifetime of questioning everything, there was nothing I didn't push the limits of or see the boundaries of in my life. I mean, this is not a little thing for me. And I always was able to perform when I had a character to play. But I don't have a character to play. Like, even when I was, running around with rock and roll stars and whatnot, I sort of played a character. And it was easy for me. But around hockey, that would have been disingenuous. It would have been wrong. And I think the blueprint is the reason that everything in my life has started to fall into place. A lot of this has to do with the Mike Babcock theory that, and I mean, this is shared. There's some pop psychology theories about it too. Whatever helps you get here. But it's blown my mind how little people identify with the idea that if you blame things in your life, you lose control. You've got to keep working hard, trying hard, and the right things are going to happen for you. That's what hockey is about. You don't go out there, well, it's more and more common to go out there and say, hey, referee, they cheated and it's not fair, it's so not fair. And have them, you just look bad when you do that. And you also don't look that great when you enhance a penalty and act like you had your head blown off by an assault rifle. It looks ridiculous. And I get so damn sick and tired of it. Because that's not hockey. Hockey's about men settling men things. Or women settling men things. Women's things are not settled in any game with rules in it. I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you more about that little by little. It's who I am. And if I met you, I would never put a desk between us. That's just not something I would do. And I think that I'm an easygoing person. I've rolled with all kinds of punches. But until I heard Mike Babcock put it in a statement, one he gives to each and every player, and they better identify with it. If you want to be in control in your life, you keep working hard and doing good things, and the good things will happen. And if you blame other things for your failures, be it God, luck, or the universe, you're not in control of your life. Yes, there's meteors from space. Things happen to you and you can't control it. That happens in a hockey game too. But how you adapt, how you bring yourself out of that, that's what's important. Now, this has been easier for me to do probably to find this wall in me, because it would have been easy to talk to you after the 9-game winning streak. Wow, that was easy. But the fact is, it's times like this, when understanding the true nature of this build and the way it's been done is so critical. We just lost 4 games. 2 of them we played really well. Didn't happen for us. Good goalies, teams trying to make the playoffs, and we don't have that much at stake. Then we played an absolutely, I don't even know what to say about the game on Saturday night, which apparently if we're on Hockey Night in Canada, we have to suck. Because those announcers say, I don't know why everybody's so excited about this team. And, they don't show it on Hockey Night in Canada. And we all know Hockey Night in Canada is like church. But isn't church kind of where you go and they don't let you just be okay for who you want to be? It's who you are right then. I mean, this is the thing about hockey. There's not time for you to put up a pretense that allows you to get away with a lot of shit over and over again. And that's just a fact. And so when you say that in, say, the game against Buffalo last night, I said I wasn't going to smoke on camera. Anyway, and I'm not, but seriously, well, I might. We'll see how the playoffs go. But I feel like we've been in the spot as Maple Leaf fans where we see a 4-game losing streak and all we see is the past. The past is here. You know, I'm 61 years old. Like I said, I'll probably say that like twice an episode of this. But because you can't stop identifying when you love something like sports and specifically hockey with how you were when you were young. When I was 9, 10, and 11 years old, the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. So when family acquaintance Gordie Howe asked me when my dad took me to meet all the Red Wing players, because I live in Detroit, but you know that from the way I spell defense and honor, and the way I talk. But I can talk like you. Believe me, a couple months there, and I'm fitting right in. But the thing is that, okay, where am I? Well, basically, I'm trying to explain to you how I told Gordie Howe. My favorite hockey player was Dave Keon. Then, not having insulted Gordie Howe enough, I insulted my dad by saying if I had my preference, Dave Keon would be my father. And since then, it's sort of been almost an essential part of my identity. Hockey, I've lived from one hockey game to the other for so long I don't remember. And in the worst times in my life, I did that. But in some of the best times in my life, when I had my child, she was 1 year old in the spring of '93. And we all know what happened. And I was as angry as anybody. I don't think anybody in my life had ever seen me that mad. Follow through of his shot, my ass. Gretzky cut Gilmore in the chin. There's no two ways about it. He should have been thrown out of the game. But he was Gretzky. And that's sort of the beginning of the kind of hockey you can't let yourself get into. It's not Wayne's game. Wayne's game's fine. It was fine. Fine game. Great player. Not going to say anything bad about Wayne Gretzky. That doesn't have to do with that game. And very frankly, I thought he would be here and be gone because he didn't have a 200-foot game. But he made other deals, and he had a good esprit de corps where he could lead a group of players who had the skills he didn't necessarily feel comfortable with. But if you look at those series, as I did all summer, study every single Stanley Cup final, you'll see that Wayne Gretzky was on a team that didn't even have to hit. And when they were hit, there were penalties called. And what did they do? They scored on the power play. All right. It's great to have a great power play. But it's an example of what I was saying about Mike's quote. You wait for a power play. You get a penalty kill foisted on you. Great hockey teams kill penalties. You don't have to have a great power play. A great power play is something that's a luxury to have. Because if you come to depend too much on your power play, there's too much value in pretending that someone did something naughty to you. And when you put forth the idea of an honest game, and Mike is really big on this, he won't even ask for a review unless the people upstairs tell him they saw something. He doesn't feel it's something that needs to happen. It's a break, and it didn't go your way. What are you going to do? Say, well, geez, now it's not fair. I'm leaving. Okay, that's not hockey. Hockey, you just find a way to do it. You find a way. Now, these kids, I know they want to play this way. And I know that they're learning hockey over again because they were all trained at a really high level. But there's also a balance of personality here. And the personalities involved on this team, I didn't think it came into play earlier in the year. But with Austin out in this last game, I felt like his entire sense of zen, the fact that he doesn't overreact to things, the fact that he takes things into his own hands and just says, yeah, this isn't working for me. And his focus is so tremendous. And it all of a sudden occurred to me, that's what people see in him that ask them to make him captain. I used to think it was pretty unfair to ask someone in their second year to be captain. And I'm not going to talk about Connor McDavid. I'm not going to talk about Connor McDavid. Okay, so that's where we are. We're with the idea that we need to organize our temperament to be in line with the kind of hockey we have to play. We have to stop blaming things. We have to find ways to win the games where the bounces don't go our way. We have to find a way to win the games where somebody's got more at stake than we do. And when I sit here and talk to you, I would betray the fact that maybe at times I do wonder if they know what they're talking about. If I didn't tell you that meeting me, you'd never see me trying to sit up straight or trying to tell you, you're wrong and I'm right. I'm trying to promote discussion. And yeah, I can sound like I'm really right. And I've spent a lot of time sitting in front of a camera and an audience. So it's something that you do with a certain certainty out of self-defense. And hockey players are learning to do this, but I'm not sure it's a good thing. But these are just topics I'm throwing out there because I want to talk about this. True to blueprint means that no matter how bad or good things are going, you know where we are in the build. It's a blueprint. You don't walk up to a construction site, look around and say, geez, where are you on this thing? If you don't see progress, if you don't see walls are going up and bricks are going on the outside, if you don't see that, then maybe they're lying to you about having a blueprint. We know they assembled the tools, and we know from the little work they did at the trade deadline that they basically intend to go forward with this team. So that means the supplies are here. Now what we need is to put them up. And I think this year we have put the foundation in. We have poured it. It's perfect. It's passed the building inspection. And the walls have been put up of the first floor. The first floor is where you learn to become a winning franchise. And it's not just about them. It's about us. We have to become a winning fan base, or we're never going to be able to support this team right. It's going to be clickbait after clickbait on every little doubt, every single little stupid blogger on the planet. And that is not the kind of thing we can afford to have. We can't afford to have people making shit up because they know they can get views, hits, and all that kind of stuff. That's not working for me. An honest fan reaction like Steve Dangle has, it's always going to work for me. But I don't want to do what Steve Dangle does. He does it so well. Who would want to do it, I mean, there's certain things that are being done perfectly. And he's doing what he does perfectly. And then there's Alyssa, who talks about hockey players and all kinds of things in general. Alyssa Hope. Absolutely love her. But the fact is I don't want to do that either. I want to kind of share with you how hockey entered in my life and how being true to the blueprint has helped me to see a future for this team that just doesn't stop giving in terms of greatness. Now I'm old. They may not be great after I die, but I think I can deal with that. Because I'm leaving the planet with as good a Maple Leafs as I found. And that's one thing I think, we can all kind of get behind. Anyway, I'll be back. Probably cut this thing into 1,000,000 pieces before you see it. But generally, I'm going to try to talk easier and easier, and we'll see how that works. Okay. Putting another one up as soon as I can get the guts to do it, okay? So, subscribe, and tell your friends about True to Blueprint, especially when they're feeling bummed, because there's nothing to worry about. Nothing. Okay, I'll be back. I promise.